quality leader, not the price leader. And this is something that I think a lot of people mix up in their marketing, is that you can't be both, right? Authority lead or the quality lead. And the authority lead is, some people call it quality, some call it authority.
We deliver what we promise, and the price you're quoted is the price you're going to pay. If it takes us a year, it takes us 3 months, it takes us 6 months. Believe in what you're doing. And can you stand behind your product? And it's when you have a 5-star or 4.5-star review across the board, I mean, people will look at it first.
Welcome to another episode of the Full Arch Advantage podcast. I'm your host, Gary Bird. I'm the CEO of SMC National. We help you create, convert, and close more full arch cases. And this show is dedicated to figuring out all the nuances, all the little things that people just don't share publicly about getting more full arch cases. And today, I have Dr. Abboud, who is the CEO of 18 practices, and he's going to share some strategies of how he's built his empire, how he's been able to grow the way that he wants to, and he's really done it on his terms, and he's really ignored a lot of the different advice that's out there, and he's done it on his own. And you're not going to want to miss this episode because he is uber smart, and you're going to have a lot of great results if you listen to this episode. So make sure you stay tuned. All right, Dr. Abboud, so why don't you tell us how many practices you guys currently have?
So we have 18 practices. Some of them are dedicated for full arch and implant centers and multi-specialty. And some of them you do general dentistry and ortho. Others do just general dentistry. So.
Got it. Okay, so you're doing a little bit of everything. So let's talk about on the full arch side. How many practices that you have dedicated to doing full arch?
So we have 2 practices dedicated to full arch, and actually the way we do business is different than a full arch. We do customized down solution. So we're 50% full arch, 50% implant and other services. We believe in the idea that not everybody is.
Sorry to disrupt the show, but I got something crazy to share with you. We are attempting to connect with all of our listeners. We have thousands of people that listen to this podcast, and we want to meet you in person. We have 4 events coming up, and I want to give you a discount code that you can use for the next week to save $300 off your ticket. The discount code is Gary Bird, and the link is going to be just down below. You can also go to smcnational.com/events. I hope to connect with you in person and help each other grow our businesses. Can't wait to see you soon.
Should get to full arch right away. It's a transitional period, so we look at the age and factor that in. Is that something that the patient will have for the rest of his life? If he's in his 30s, 40s, it will be hard to predict that full arch will serve him lifetime.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because there are starting to pop up surgical centers that only do certain kinds of treatment, and that serves a much smaller segment. So it sounds like you guys are kind of figuring out for the patient whatever they need as far as implants go. You're trying to figure out a solution for them, correct?
100%. This is what differentiates us from the full arch locations that only do full arch 99% and they do 1% implant here and there. For us, we believe in customized down solution for the patients, and I think that what makes us successful in what we do.
That's great. Okay, so I kind of want to dive into that a little bit. So how many new for the full arch offices or the implant offices? How many new patients are you seeing a month?
We see probably 100 new patients a month. That's come for consultation. You have to factor in how many people are able to do it. I think the financial factor is the biggest factor in this.
Okay, so let's go down that road. So you're getting 100 new patients a month. How many of those are just financially just can't do it?
Probably 50%.
Okay, that makes sense. And yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing as well. And then what do you guys have any tricks or anything that you're doing to try to get more people qualified financially?
Well, it's if they don't have it, they don't have it. There's no way to get the money if they don't have it. uh, at the end of the day, we don't sell dentistry, we treat patients. And we
Yeah.
believe if the patient needs it, and we find the mean to do it. If they don't have means to eat, they have no means to afford teeth. So
Yeah.
it's all, if they have it, they have it.
Yeah.
And there's no way, there's no trick in the book that you can take it unless you give them the money to do it.
Yeah. So no, are you using different kinds of financing to try to help with that side of it, or no?
We have three, four different options, and we have the patient go through all these options. And sometimes they use two different options. Other
Mm.
ways that we have them pay for their surgical part first, and then and the conversion, and then start paying for the restorative part as they go. So that has been little more successful because if you pay half now, and in 3 months you pay the other half, so uh, a lot of people don't like this option because sometimes they get stuck. But
Yeah.
if it's a way to make the patient comfortable, then it's helpful.
That makes sense. And then where are these 100 patients coming from? Are you getting them from referrals from your other practices? Are you getting from marketing? Where are you getting the 100 new patients from?
So we have of course, the marketing like everybody else. We have the social media, the newspaper, we have our magazine, uh, and our biggest factor would be internal referral. The fact that we have so many locations that feed into these implant centers, it's very helpful. I think that what get us the most patients. Uh, and the most qualified patient, because when you
Yeah.
have a brand that's been trusted for the last 25 years, people you don't need to sell anything. They already been your patient. They already you have the reputation to continue serving them.
Yeah, and this strategy, I've heard other people call it the hub and spoke, where you have the specialty office in the middle, you have a couple GP offices, and to your point, when you get a referral from yourself, so if and when I say yourself, it's not you, but one of the other
Mm-hmm.
doctors that works in your organization, when they say, "Oh, this person needs full arch," and they've been already working with them for a long time, that's probably the best kind of patient that you're going to get because they trust the referral. They know kind of what the expectations are. So that's really, really smart. Would you say that's about half of your patients that you're getting, or is there what percentage of those 100 are coming from that?
At least half, and that's probably the most qualified patients
Mm-hmm.
because they're already been in the system. They know what you are. You're going to find the other patients who are window shoppers,
Yeah.
where they're going to go to every full arch center or every implant center. And uh, unfortunately, is not only very competitive, it's free of charge. So
Yeah.
people will take advantage of that. And we understand that. I mean,
Yeah.
we appreciate people who know what they want. And as long as you are one of the three, because a full arch patient will go to three consultations. If you are
Mm.
one of the three in your area, you're very successful. And your
Yeah.
part is just to prove that you are the one.
Yeah, and kind of the way I think of this is on a trust level, right? So it's like, yes, there are window shoppers, but the reason they're window shoppers is because they don't know us yet, right? So they don't know that if they can trust us or if they're going to trust the next guy because they're kind of getting little bits of pieces of information all along the way. Some on the phone, some when they go into the practices for the free consult. To your point, but those patient referrals or those doctor referrals from yourself, those are the trust is already built in, so they already trust you, and it's much easier to get them in. So the patient referrals are awesome. So obviously, as many of those as you can get as possible. That's what you want to focus on. But the other half, the other 50 or so that you're getting a month, where are those coming from? Are those mainly coming from digital, or you said newspaper in there? What are you using to get those?
So we use the coupon insert for the grocery store, and we buy the page or 2 pages of that, and insert our promotional uh, uh, paper in there, so show them before and after. And one thing we try to avoid is mentioning price because
Yeah.
we we tell our patients we're not the cheapest, but we are the best because we do stand behind anything we do. And I don't want to be in the market being the cheapest. I don't want to be the guy who
Yeah.
sell the cheapest. I want to be known for the guy who does the best work. And we the most important thing is patient satisfaction. That's the factor that keep you successful. You don't leave any patient unhappy, no matter
Mm.
what it takes. Nobody complained for no reason.
Yeah.
Nobody will waste their time and come and because they are not they're satisfied they just have time to waste. Always take their concern seriously because it is important to listen to what they say.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And one thing that I'm just thinking of as we're talking is that when you have 50 new patients a month coming from these different marketing sources, you're going to get a mixed bag. You're going to get some people who are great, some people who aren't, and listening and getting the feedback and understanding where they're at in their buying cycle is huge. And so how much roughly are you spending on marketing to generate those 50 new patients a month?
I think our cost per conversion, you're looking at probably around 500 to 1500 per arch. If you look at the full arch, uh, it could be probably between around 10% of your total income that gets spent on marketing. A lot of these centers are newer centers, uh, but we have an internal referral program as well. I mean, when patients send us other patient, we send them thank you note or get certificate to get their something rewarding, not monetary, but it is something to say thank you for spreading the word that you are happy and you appreciate what we have done.
So just so we're on the same page, you said so for the smaller implant cases, you said they're somewhere between 500 to 1500 cost per start, and then the bigger cases are around 10%. So if it's a $50,000 case, around $5,000 cost per start. Does that sound right?
No, it's still below that. Probably bigger cases, you're still looking around $1,500
Okay, cost per
cost
start.
per
Okay.
start.
That's
Mhm.
pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. And then do you need more new patients, or are you guys pretty much tapped out where you guys are at on the full arch side?
Uh, we can still use more new patients. Obviously, we're only seeing surgeries 3 days a week in these centers. Our goal is to do 5 days a week and to do morning and afternoon. And we're
Oh, smart.
all our
Okay.
cent- all our centers are large enough to accommodate. So our average center is about 5,000 square feet. So we can accommodate a different surgeries in the same day.
Perfect. And then one thing that you said, and I kind of lost it there mentally for a second, but then now it's just coming back to me. You said we want to be the quality leader, not the price leader. And this is something that I think a lot of people mix up in their marketing is that you can't be both, right? Like you can, but it's really, really hard. I haven't seen anybody do it, but you can. There is an option where, like I'm in like in Southern California, Los Angeles. When you drive down the freeway, you see these billboards that are like implants $499, right? So obviously people are going to be calling you who have already come and maybe visited an office like yours or visited an office like somebody else's, and they said, oh, I can't afford that. And then now they're seeing this price and they're going to go, oh, maybe this is where I can afford it. And so they're really taking that price lead. But then there's the authority lead or the quality lead. And the authority lead is, some people call it quality, some call it authority. I like to think of it more of as a authority of like, hey, we're going to help you figure out how to get this done, and you're going to get the best experience possible from the outcome. It sounds like you're taking that higher road. Is that right? Is that a conscious thing that you're really thinking through as the market begins to expand?
100%. I mean, you don't want to be the cheapest. If you're going to go in the price fighting, you're going to go in a spiral downward, and you're going to sacrifice quality. We're very honest when the patient come in. Listen, if you're going for the cheapest, you're in the wrong place. If you're going for the best, you're in the right place. We are not the most expensive, but we're not the cheapest. So, but we deliver what we promise, and the price you're quoted is the price you're going to pay. If it takes us a year, it takes us 3 months, it takes us 6 months. This is the price you're going to pay. And I think that's what people appreciate the most is honesty and how can they uh, believe in what you're doing and can you stand behind your product. And it's when you have a 5 star or 4.5 star review across the board, I mean, people will look at it first.
Yeah, when you say stand behind your product, what does that mean from, I think I understand it and I think you understand it, but like from a patient's perspective, what does that mean to the patient?
Well, when we give a patient a price, this is the price going to cost them. If an implant fail, we do it for free. If he doesn't like the shape, we redo it for free. If he doesn't like something, we will redo it for free. It's
So you're not raising the price later and going, oh no, you didn't, we didn't account for,
exactly.
we
It's
needed more
one
bone
price
grafting.
included.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all included. If I do 5 cc or if I do half a cc, it's all included. If I do 5 implants or I do 4 implants, if I do 7 or 8, doesn't matter. For me, at that point, my dentist looking what the best solution for the patient, not what the cheapest solution for the patient.
Yeah. And that's really important because patients don't know, right? So a lot of times doctors will be like, hey, okay, Gary, you're going to get these implants and it's going to be, $20,000. And then they get in there and they go, oh, you're going to need a lot more bone grafting and you need a lot more work in there than we thought. So now we have to tack on 5,000. Well, the patient never wants to hear that, even though it may be true, right? And so what I hear you saying is you're figuring out beforehand, this is what it's going to take. And if you mess up on the evaluation, you're taking ownership of that.
100%. And we don't do any leader advertisement. So what does that mean? $9.99 implant.
Yeah.
And then somebody come in the door and it's going to cost you another $2,000 for crowns, another $1,500 for the abutment. This is one thing we don't do because it's the problem. You're going to get a lot of low conversion. People are going to come up for $9.99. They're thinking that's what they're going to pay, and then you're going to give them a list for $3,000-4,000. They're going to walk out and they're going to call you names.
It's almost like saying, hey, you can come buy this brand new Mercedes for $1,000. And then when you get there, they're like, oh, no, that's just for the wheels. That's not for the rest of the car, right? Like you're not really telling the whole story.
Exactly. And you might be able to convert some patients, but it's discouraging for the doctor who's doing the consultation because it's going to make you look you're like a sleazy salesman. And so the marketing agency always push, let's do some leaders pricing. That's one thing we don't do. Come in, this is what you expect to pay. It's not going to be much different unless it's more involved surgically or the patient's compromised that we need to get a higher level of anesthesia and so forth. But we try to get everything before we start. You cannot change the rules of the game after the game starts. That's one thing the patient will not appreciate.
Because they just don't get it. And you could be 100% clinically correct that it is complicated, but you kind of have to eat that because the patient doesn't understand that. It's like going to the auto mechanic and they're like, okay, I can replace your motor. It's going to cost $10,000. And then they take the motor out and they go, oh, I didn't realize this. It's going to be another $10,000. You're just like, oh no, you feel scammed. Even if it's true, you feel like you got scammed because we don't know. We in the mechanic, scenario, we just don't know. We don't know what they're talking about. So we're trusting them to be the experts. So another thing I wanted to ask you. So, go ahead. Did you have a comment?
No.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you, so you're getting 100 new patients a month for Full Arch. How many leads are you having to sort through to get to that 100 new patients?
Well, you're going to get a lot of calls or get a lot of people who fake calling. And I mean, I don't really know, but I think 100 call per center is 100 patient. It's pretty reasonable. We probably go through 200-300 inquiries per patient.
That's actually not that bad. I've seen, sometimes people are going through 500, 600 to get to that 100 mark. So that's pretty good. And it's probably because you're dealing with a lot of patient referrals from your other offices. So those are like and done. And you're probably not getting, but on the marketing side, a lot of times sometimes you have to get 4 or 5 leads just to get one person into the office that's qualified.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is, I think, why we don't get a lot of window shoppers is the fact that we are very straightforward on what we do. We don't get that low point pricing, bringing people in and decide if they're going to bite on it or not. This is, I think, what help us have more conversion and more realistic patients.
So are you just leading with when you're marketing? Are you just leading with, hey, free consultation, come in and we can help you, or what
Free
are you kind of?
consultation before and after, and if we do single teeth, we put the full price. We don't put implant only price or so we do put coupon, for example, $1,000 off your full arch. This is our price. Bring it in. After we make the deal, you can use that as a down payment, basically. But we do not tell them this is going to be $13,500. A lot of people do, and then they're going to have to add zirconia. They have to add unnatural temporary, and that's going to reach $25,000-$30,000 when you're leading them 13 grand.
Yeah, that's so true. Well, okay, so last question for you, and this has been like super helpful. Like this is going to help a lot of people, I think, more than you probably realize. As people are starting to add full arch, or they're already doing full arch, but they can't figure out how to scale past this doctor referrals. This has really been good. So, last question. So we have all the doctors who are trying to do full arch in the world. They're starting out, or they've been doing it for a couple of years and they haven't been able to grow the way they wanted to. And they're all sitting in a stadium and you're on stage speaking to them. What's your one message to them to help them grow the way that they want to?
Well, first of all, make sure that you're able to do a good full arch treatment. Getting yourself stuck in a case that you can't finish is going to cost you a lot more money than that $50,000 you can get. Second, if you have the product, then you can sell the product. Make your product perfect before you start selling your product, because you're going to get in trouble very fast, and that will discourage you. After you get there, the word will spread from your patient. Consider your patients are your only walking board, because they will be your walking board. And ask for referral. Nothing wrong with it. Are you happy? I'm very happy. Can you please tell people about me? If you don't ask, they will never tell.
Yeah,
But
that's
when you
true.
ask them that favor, they will go around and say, this guy is good, or this place is good. And just deliver what you promise. At the end of the day, don't bite what you can't chew. That's a bigger problem.
I see what you did there with your pun. Don't bite what you don't chew. That's a good one. We're going to put that on a t-shirt. This has been really, really helpful. I really appreciate you coming on and just sharing your knowledge, your experience. And thank you so much for just being transparent and being real with the audience.
Well, thank you, sir. I think this is a great revolution. We are in a great area for dentistry. This will make the technology, the ability to do more for patient has been fulfilling in every way you do. So it's good time to be a dentist, and it's a better time if you can implement technology in it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much again for coming on. Have a good day.
Thank you.